I remember as I was in the shower, out of nowhere, I ended up seeing my babysitter walk into the bathroom and she says to me, I'm gonna sit on the toilet and make sure you wash yourself right. And I'm staring at her with nothing on thinking, what is this babysitter doing? Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba and welcome back to another really embarrassing story. So this story all takes place in my grade 9 year, and I'm not gonna lie, in grade 9, I was not a smart kid, nor was I a genius. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't like Jimmy Neutron, but one thing's for sure, I had my priorities straight. I had a certain way of living that I basically wanted for myself in grade 9, and yes, it was to focus on women and doing the devil's tango and study the arts of how to woo a woman. But not only that, another thing I really cared about was video games, and playing video games was my strong suit. To be honest, growing up, the only escape I had from this reality of, well, pain and misery, which sounds really depressing, but in reality it wasn't that bad, but my greatest escape was playing video games. And I remember in my grade 9 year, I would play video games up to like 8 to 12 hours a day. And to be honest, I was such a perfectionist back when I was younger that when I would play a video game, I would always try to 100% it. Like, have you guys ever seen someone 100% a video game? It is literally impossible sometimes, and it takes a lot of hours to get into. Actually, if you guys have ever 100%ed a video game, comment down below because I'm actually curious. But going on with the story, I remember one time in my grade 9 year, I was coming home from school and I was excited to just do my daily routine of just going into my room and playing video games. But then out of nowhere, I remember as I was walking through my front door, my mom ended up coming out. She came out with a luggage and she said to me, "Oh, Bubba, I'm gonna be leaving for a bit for a couple days to go visit your dad. So you're going to be home alone, but I hired a babysitter. I hope you're okay with that." At that moment, I didn't really care because I'm like, okay, just another babysitter. It's whatever. And I ended up basically going inside and not even saying bye to her since I was always upset since they always went on vacations. But at the same time, it is what it is. Going on though, I went straight into my room, sat down at my desk and started, gaming and going on my computer and watching videos about how to beat this game that I got. And then out of nowhere, I ended up hearing a knock on the door. Now at this point, I knew it was the babysitter since no one else was home, and I went downstairs and opened the door for the babysitter. When I saw her, she was a cute girl with glasses, and she looked at me and said, "Oh, hey, you must be Bubba, right?" "Yeah, hi. How you doing?" "Oh, I'm good. This is your house, right?" Yeah, I don't know why I would be in it if it wasn't my house." She started giggling when I said that, and I remember instantly at that moment, she started walking around my house as if she was an inspector. She started walking around saying things like, "Oh, like, are the couches supposed to be in this angle? Oh, did you guys not do your towels today? Like, where are the towels in the kitchen? Bubba, can you show me where the tissues are and where everything's supposed to be properly?" And every time she would go into a different room, she had always something else to complain about. Now, when it comes to video games, I'm a perfectionist, but in real life, I didn't really care where things were, but this babysitter clearly did. And I'm not joking, the first 2 hours of her being in my house, she just kept moving things, and it even got to the point where she rearranged the living room to make sure that every couch was angled correctly towards the TV. I remember I found this super weird, and honestly, she started to remind me more and more of Sheldon Cooper from Big Bang Theory, if Sheldon was a babysitter. But going on with the story, I remember I decided to basically leave her alone and let her do her own thing. I remember I went straight back upstairs, started playing my video game, and basically ignored her and did my own thing. But out of nowhere, as I'm playing my game, she ends up coming into my room and she saw that my room was a mess. Now, don't get me wrong, yes, I didn't do my laundry, and yes, maybe I had a pair of dirty underwear in the corner of my room, okay? But at the same time, for a babysitter to just walk in without knocking and start rearranging everything is weird. Like, yeah, if it was my mom, sure, I wouldn't complain because it's my mom, right? But for a babysitter to do it, now that's a little out of pocket. She started basically going through my closet, reorganizing it, and on top of that, she started reorganizing basically everything. I remember I turned around and I ended up looking at her saying, "Yo, you know you don't have to do that, right? Like, it's none of your business for what happens in my room. Bubba, you need to organize your room. Like, seriously? Like, what are you, a pig?" When she made that comment, I remember I was super annoyed and I just ended up turning around and ignoring her. And she just ended up shrugging her shoulders and getting back to work. Honestly, I didn't know what to say to this babysitter. I didn't know if I should yell at her, be mad at her, or even just tattletale on her. But at the same time, how am I going to complain to my mom that the babysitter was cleaning the house? Like, there's no way she would take that as a bad thing, right? And then I want to say 10 minutes went by and she ended up going downstairs to the kitchen and start making food. Now, usually when babysitters make me dinner, it's usually some grilled cheese sandwich or mac and cheese or something really simple to make that usually takes like, what, 10 minutes to cook? But this babysitter, she was a perfectionist, like I said earlier. So I remember when she said, "Bubba, it's time to come down for food. Hurry up, it's gonna get cold." I ended up pausing my video game, went downstairs, and I was expecting something small and nothing crazy. But when I actually sat down on my kitchen table, I am not joking, I saw a really nice pasta. It was like fettuccine Alfredo with mushrooms. Like, she made an amazing dish. And I'm not joking, like, this thing looked like it was straight out of a restaurant. I didn't even know my mom had the ingredients to make something this insane in the kitchen. I remember I looked at her and I started eating the food and I was amazed. Like, this babysitter can cook. So I ate her food and I finished it literally as fast as possible because I obviously wanted to go back to my video game, but at the same time, it was so good. And I looked at her and thanked her for the meal and she said, said, oh, no problem. I'm happy you enjoyed it. And right as I turn around and start heading upstairs, I remember she looks at me and says, wait, are you just going to go back upstairs and play your dumb video game? It's actually not a dumb video game, okay? It's a game that I actually enjoy. And second, yeah, I have nothing else to do. I finished all my homework. Well, I mean, you do kind of smell, so you could go take a shower. How about that? Okay, you know what? Sure, I'll go take a shower. I remember I ended up getting upstairs and I went to my bathroom and I ended up taking a shower. But I'm not joking. As I'm in the shower, washing my balls, out of nowhere, this babysitter ends up coming into the bathroom and she looks at me saying, oh, Baba, here, let me sit on the toilet. Let me make sure you do this right. And I look at her thinking, what are you doing? She ends up sitting down and she starts reorganizing my bathroom as I'm literally in the bathroom taking a shower. And I'm just looking at her thinking, yo, like, is this normal for a babysitter to do? And that's not even the worst part, because after she finished reorganizing the bathroom, she ends up sitting back down on her toilet seat and she said, oh, make sure you wash your back. Here, do you want me to help you? No, I don't need your help. But by the time I said that, she ended up actually taking off her clothing and she ended up actually hopping into the shower with me just to wash my back. Like, bro, what in the world was going on? Obviously, one thing led to another, though. Since I saw her with nothing on in the shower with me, I ended up getting bricked. And well, one thing led to another. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. She noticed I was bricked and started giggling. No, me and her, we did not do the devil's tango. Obviously, because she was like in her 30s, I think, and I was only like, what, 14, turning 15 maybe? But I will say this, I did not know what to think or feel at that moment. I felt kind of violated, but at the same time, bricked up. I don't really know. But after the shower, I remember I ended up getting my towel on and I ran straight to my bedroom and I got my clothes on as fast as I could. I didn't know if I should tell my parents about what happened, but at the same time, are they really gonna believe me if I told them what happened? Because this babysitter literally cleaned the entire house and made everything perfect since she was a perfectionist. So I ended up deciding not to say anything and I sat back down on my PC and I started playing video games again. But as I was playing video games, I remember the babysitter ends up walking into my bedroom with a towel on and she looks at me saying, are you seriously gonna go back to playing that video game? Okay, serious question. Have you ever actually played video games? Well, no, I don't see a reason for them. I feel like they're like a time waste. Well, for me, they aren't. And actually, to be honest, I think you might be good at video games. Have you ever thought of maybe trying it? At that moment, I remember she ended up sitting down beside me and me and her, we actually ended up playing the video game that I was trying to beat 100%. And since this babysitter was a perfectionist, she ended up getting more addicted to the game than I was. And while one thing led to another, she ended up being my gaming partner and my babysitter. And me and her, we ended up playing video games till like 4 in the morning until the next day when out of nowhere, my parents ended up coming home. And me and this babysitter, we didn't realize we stayed up all night playing this game, but we did finish it 100%, so that was cool. As for my parents, well, they were upset that me and the babysitter stayed up all night playing video games, and well, that babysitter was never hired again. Honestly, don't get me wrong, I found it really weird that she watched me in the shower and stuff, but she was a cool gaming partner to hang out with. And you guys gotta tell me honestly, can you guys take a shower with the babysitter watching you? Because if not, then fall for more embarrassing stories just like this one. Peace out, guys.